Hello, children. Welcome to your EVS class. Today we are going to continue with the chapter on plants. We had already done about root, stems, leaves, photosynthesis. Now, today we will be doing about flower. Let us first see the parts of a flower. Sepal. At the bottom of the flower, you see tiny green leaves. They are called sepals. They protect the flower when it is a bud. As the bud opens, the sepals curl back and form a cup. The whole flower is attached to the stem by a stalk. Let us see the male parts of a flower. They are called stamen. It is the male reproductive organ part of the plant. It is composed of a long tube called filament and has a pollen producing structure on the end. This oval shaped structure is called the anther. Carpel. Carpel is the female reproductive part of the flower. It comprises of the stigma, the style and the ovary. Together they are called the carpel. Style is in the center and you can see it as a long tube like stalk in the middle of the flower, which is called the style. Stigma. It is a sticky substance on which the pollen sticks. Ovary. At the bottom of the style is the ovary, which contains tiny ovules or egg cells. Pollination occurs by small insects like butterfly, honeybees, and moths, which are attracted by the color and the smell of the flower. They sit on the flower to suck the sweet nectar, and some pollen grains stick to their body. When they visit another flower or move on the same flower, they transfer some of the pollen to the stigma of the new flower. This process of the transfer of pollen from one flower to another is called pollination. There are two types of pollination: self pollination and cross pollination. The pollen grains enter the ovary through the style and fuse to form seeds. This process is called fertilization. The ovary swells and becomes fleshy, and the seeds develop, and the ovary develops into a fruit. As the fruit ripens, the petals dry up. Children, it's very important to know that honeybees play a big role in the transfer of pollen grains and thereby helping in pollination. Children, seeds are very important because they contain the new plant or the embryo of the new plant. Seeds are found inside fruits. They are of different shapes and sizes. Some fruits, like the mango, have only one seed. Some other fruits, like apple, watermelon, have a number of seeds. These seeds have a thick outer covering which protects the seed when it is a small, and it is called the seed coat. Inside the seed, there is an embryo or a baby plant. There is a hole on the seed coat from where the water enters the seed. When you remove the seed coat, you will find that there are cotyledons. There can be one cotyledon or two cotyledons. and you will see the seed leaves and a small seed root and an embryo. So, this is about seed, that it contains an embryo or the baby plant, and it has a seed coat. Now, let us learn about germination. When you soak a seed and put it in the ground, it begins to germinate after few days. The conditions required for germination are air, water, and right temperature. A seed is sown in the soil. It is kept moist by regular watering. The seed absorbs water from the hole on it. It starts to swell and soften. The seedling breaks the seed coat and comes out of the seed. A small root begins to grow and it later goes in the soil. The seedling develops root and later on a shoot also. The cotyledons actually are the first leaves of the plant, and also the baby embryo grows into a small plant. Children, so you have learned about germination. Let us now come to dispersal of seeds. Seeds, as you know, need the right place to grow, and hence they should be dispersed or should go to far off places. Nature has different means of scattering the seeds far away from the main plant. This process of scattering or spreading of seeds far and wide is known as the dispersal of seeds. There are some agents of dispersal. These are wind, water, animal, and explosion. Some seeds are carried away by wind as they are usually very small and light. These seeds have fine hair and wings due to which they are carried away by the wind. For example, the seeds of dandelion, cotton, and maple. They are carried away by the small fur on it to distant places. Next agent of dispersal is water. Fruits of coconut, lotus, and lily are dispersed by water. As these are found near the water, their seeds are carried away by water to far off places. Animals also help to disperse seeds. Animals eat the fruits and they move about from place to place, and from their droppings grow new plants. The droppings of these animals and birds fall on the ground, and when they get appropriate moisture, the seedling grows into a baby plant and into a new plant. Some seeds are dispersed by explosion. Fruits of peas, balsam, and touch me not explode when they become dry. Also, seeds of violet, jewelweed, and witch hazel are dispersed by explosion. That is, these seeds burst when they are ripe, and the seeds are scattered far away so that the plants get appropriate space to grow. So these are some of the natural ways of dispersal of seeds. Children, here I would like to tell you that about some other seeds that are dispersed by wind, like milkweed, dandelion, and maple. Children, here I would like to tell you that some plants also multiply by vegetative propagation. That is, they multiply with the help of roots, stem, leaves, or spores. This is called vegetative propagation. Let us take, for example, potato. Potato is an underground stem. It has buds or eyes which grow into a new plant. Carrot, radish, and sweet potato are plants whose roots grow into new plants. Leaves of the bryophyllums grow into new plants by their leaves. When the leaves fall on moist ground and get enough nutrients, they begin to grow. So, children, this is all about vegetative propagation, which you have done in this chapter of Class 5 EVS book. Children, if you liked my video, I hope you liked it. Please subscribe and press the bell icon to remain updated with the latest videos. Thank you.